And I was just being told to never buy ladies' razors because they're more expensive.
And useless. You had to buy men's razors.
Of course.
Because the plastic thing doesn't, and then...
Strangely enough, this is actually what ties into today's vinyl haul. One of the records that we brought does tie in to ladies' shaving implements. Welcome to No Dogs in
Hi.
Space, everybody. My name's Marcus Pax.
I'm Carolina Hidalgo.
And of course, we do have the vinyl haul coming for you today, as we do
a
every week.
Book haul.
And a book haul as well. We're going to be getting to some questions. Thank you to S.J. Mills. We're all terrible at reading sub names.
No, we Reno 911 it all the time.
all the new subs: Abominable, Snowstorm, Green Submarine, 77, and Not Alex East. Thank you very much for your subs.
Thank you.
But after the book haul and the vinyl haul, we're going to be taking some more questions, and we're also going to be getting to some videos at the end. So please, if you have any questions in the chat, please do ask, and we shall have them here displayed on our screen. But before we get to all of that, we went to a very special concert this weekend. We went to San Bernardino.
Yamava Casino.
Woo! That was an experience.
But you have to say who we saw.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Yes,
Yes.
that's where we were. That was us in line to see the Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins with special guests Stone Temple Pilots, of course. Stone Temple Pilots without their original lead singer Scott Weiland, who died of a heroin overdose a few years ago, and he was of course replaced with Chester from Linkin Park, who also died by suicide soon after. But now they got a guy from the X Factor
Who seems healthy. He's good. His name is Jeff Goot, which I think is Danish or German for good. He's doing great. He's got a pulse, and he actually did a really great job. Actually, I was watching, you know me, I'm not really a Stone Temple Pilots person.
Yeah, I mean, who is really?
But chat, please let us know.
I mean, not to cast aspersions, I knew every word to almost every single song.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
And I was having the best time because I ate an edible.
Yes.
And so I sat there glued to my seat, and I'm like, they are like what you call, like, they make an art out of being professional band. I don't know what else. I was really high. Well, and we were like pretty up close because we were lucky enough because we're No Dogs in Space. So
we got super lucky.
We got very close, and it's really cool that they were right there because every time you like lean over to say something, I'd be like, they can hear you.
Shh, don't talk shit. And I actually did at times, like, I'd want to make a joke or something about how puffy the guitarist is because he was real fucking puffy. But I didn't want to like lean over and make a joke because I was afraid he was going to hear me.
We had to drive 100 miles and get on camera to finally talk about what we think because we were that close.
Yeah. And I would say this about Stone Temple Pilots' performance. I would say adequate. The guitarist was having fun with it. It was their last night on the tour. He way fucked up Big Empty and a couple other songs, but I think he was just kind of having fun with it on the last night.
I had a good time. I recognized like half of the songs.
Yeah.
It was really cool. But what was really cool is when Smashing Pumpkins went on.
Can we get that picture of Billy Corgan up there? My God, he's still got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he does. He has something like, I love the whole aesthetic of this kind of white Darth Vader meets goth Fester. Like, I like it.
Who's also a Mason.
Yes, also, but we were also talking about his makeup is perfect. His outfit, we were making bets about like how long his robe was going to be, if it was going to go down to the ground. Or I said maxi, and I was correct.
You were correct. I said all the way to the ground. She said maxi, and it ended up being maxi.
Because no goth kid would cover their boots.
That's a good point.
Thank you. I know these things.
But yeah, I mean, his voice still sounds exactly the same.
Yes. And
he killed it.
He can play.
Man, I mean, I forgot how good of a guitarist Billy Corgan actually is. Like his solo on Cherub Rock, he fucking killed it. He murdered it. And yeah, I would see them again.
Yeah. James Iha.
Let's see our picture of James Iha.
He looks great.
Yeah.
He looks like an elf there, but he looks great.
Well, he did have elf ears on along with his white, I guess it would call it his Elvis outfit. He's playing in a casino, so I think he's, going for a theme. The lady in the back there, I felt bad for her because the sound at Yamava is fucking terrible. And you couldn't hear anything that she sang, really. But James Iha, actually, I got a little starstruck, not because it was James Iha from the Smashing Pumpkins, but I recognized his voice immediately from the Simpsons episode that the Smashing Pumpkins were on, Simpsonapalooza, or Homerpalooza. And that's like when I heard him talk, I'm like, oh, that's him from the Smashing Pumpkins episode.
And you know what? That's all right. That's okay to recognize him from a Simpsons episode.
It really is.
I like that, and he seemed cool. They were cool. Their banter was great. I liked all about it. I'm sorry we're going to spend a whole time talking about this. You should have been there.
Well, I mean, it was fun. Well, it was a casino show, and casino shows are not the best shows. And they did make a fun joke about how it felt like everyone was in aerobics class because when they played a single, everyone stood up. When it was a deep cut, everyone sat down. When they had a B-side, about half of the people would stand up. And then something from the new record, right back down.
We did it too.
But hey, the stuff they played from the new record I actually liked. Like, I've been meaning to check it out. Their space rock opera.
It's actually pretty good. It's like 3 parts. There's 33 songs, so I haven't gone through all of it.
Yeah,
And I would have to say the songs are hit or miss for me personally. But as you know, art is subjective.
That it is. Yes, indeed. But we did get to, we got a couple of clips here. We got the very first part of Tonight Tonight. Let's check it out because, of course, they can't bring the full orchestra out. Those people did remain sitting there in Tonight Tonight, though. Yeah, and that's that. But then, of course, they did also play a really weird cover that I did not expect.
Oh, this one was fun.
This was fun, but it was weird. Let's hear the cover and see how fast people recognize it.
Behind the wheel of a large American automobile, you may find yourself in a beautiful house with a beautiful wife. You ask yourself, how did I get here? Just
And of course, if you have any comments on this performance in the chat, please do.
I'm still mesmerized. It was so good.
Yeah, our producer Eric pointed out that it's got a nice like Melvin's tone to it, you know?
Yeah,
like a real like sludge, hard like point to it. Chat loves it.
You see, and that's Jack Bates on the left, Peter Hook's son. Right there, that guy.
And I didn't know that. And that's just some weird guy. I think his name was like Steve or something.
He's awesome.
I think his name was like Steve Gilmore.
Wow.
Yeah. He killed it.
And by the way, just so you know, a really quick rule, we did record like to our chest.
Always, right here.
All right? And because there is that rule, if you want to record a concert, you got 10 to 15 seconds max, once, maybe twice throughout the whole show, then you put away your phones.
Maybe. Yeah,
So,
it was.
But we were doing it to our chest because the people in front of us were sitting because they were apparently high rollers. And we were standing. We were the first people who stood.
Yeah.
And I guess everyone had to stand behind us because they're like, they're blocking our way.
And that's a casino show for you. But all in all, Smashing Pumpkins, they're still on tour. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the next leg of the tour, which Interpol is opening up for them.
That's cool.
Which is going to be a fucking fantastic double billing. But yeah, if you see, if you have a chance to see Smashing Pumpkins out there, check it out.
You should definitely. I mean, they tour like so often. I was checking out to see Jack Bates, Peter Hook's son, because Jack Bates, like first of all, he looks so much like Peter Hook from Joy Division New Order.
You got the Peter Hook nose.
He's got the whole, like, his stance and everything.
Well, it's like if you took Peter Hook and you like squatted him down about 6 inches.
And he's 33.
Yeah.
And so they've been touring for like the last 5 years. So definitely check it out. I think they're gonna continue touring for the next couple of months, and they'll probably be back after Christmas.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're doing now. It's great. I'm so excited. Sorry. Oh no, we had to stop.
Thank you for the sub, Duke LaProg 79.
I like that.
Love that. And Dylan F54 said, I came here to ask about a Talking Head series, and here we are. And the thing is about the Talking Head series, we wanted to do it so fucking bad. I think we may have mentioned this last time, but the problem with the Talking Head series is that it's hard to find what the story actually is.
It's definitely hard to find something not written by David Byrne.
Well, yes, that is true.
Because it would be only according to him.
Well, well, he told his side of the story, and then Chris Franz and Tina Weymouth told their side of the story a couple of years ago with their book, which I hear is fucking fantastic. But the problem is that they all fucking despise each other, and the only Talking Heads book that's ever been written that's like a full history of the band is apparently just riddled with errors, entirely inaccurate, and presents rumor as fact. And that's unfortunately something that we cannot abide by that.
Yeah, we can only do things by like reading, looking online and things. We don't have an investigative team. We don't have time for that kind of stuff. We just do whatever we can in front of us. So like we wanted to. I think we were announcing it, but then we went back on that.
Well,
we can't do this. We can't do it right, not the way we want to.
Well, and I think that's something that, people, it is a bit of a criticism of the show that I think people have, is that we will like say like, okay, we're going to do this band and we're going to do that band. And we'll announce that because we will think like, okay, this band has to have a fantastic story. We love the music. Like this will be like a great 3-part series. And then we'll look into it and we'll realize that either A, it's not a good story. It's just a bunch of people making music and there's not a whole lot of story to it, not a lot of narrative to it. Or B, the sources just aren't there. And the reason why we don't check the sources before we announce is because we're too busy trying to get the series that we're working on that time out. And because that's the thing, is that checking out the sources and checking out the story, that can take days.
Weeks
sometimes weeks before. Like we recorded an entire Jonathan Richman episode and like out of a 2-part series it was going to be, and scrapped it after we realized like, oh, this doesn't
feel right. But we did the replacements instead.
Yeah.
Which was fun that they were a replacement. And it worked. It
did.
really worked. And you know what? There's others like, I think we mentioned before, Sonic Youth. We were going to do Sonic Youth. We moved it because Thurston Moore's book was also moved until like later this year. So we're going to have to do it like at the end of the year, like when his book comes out.
Yeah, but we got tickets for his live book reading here in Los Angeles.
Oh, I know. I'm very excited.
Yeah, we can tell him that we were at the weird Richard Hell poetry reading in New York right before we moved. It was very strange.
Yeah, they had free vodka though.
That was nice. Oh, Penny Lane 086 says, yeah, the Talking Heads all hate each other except for the married ones. And that is very true. Yeah. And they have a great time because they did Tom Tom Club together. Oh,
yeah.
And thanks for the sub, ex-piss boy.
I love that.
What makes him an ex-piss boy?
I don't know. I love all of that, though.
All right. Another question from Mike P. Does Coke. Random question. You guys have the best fucking usernames. I love these usernames. Random question. But Marcus and Carolina, considering you're New Yorkers, which, yeah, we are.
Yes.
Are you guys fans of Jonathan Fire Eater Into the Walkman? Is there enough to make an episode on it? I personally love the Walkman.
Yes.
I have not listened to enough Jonathan Fire Eater to truly, because every time I try listening to Jonathan Fire Eater, for some reason, it hasn't hit the right part of my brain. But yeah, I mean, it is a great story. You know, Jonathan Fire Eater is they're the also ran of the New York scene, the band that should have made it.
Yes.
Yeah, along with like Interpol and the Strokes and the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. Like Jonathan Fire Eater was the band that everybody was betting on that just didn't make it out of the gate because from what everyone said, they were an incredible live band that like you couldn't, like when you went to a Jonathan Fire Eater show, you're like, I'm watching the new band for the 2000s. And then when they tried putting it on tape, they could never capture it. They just couldn't quite do it for whatever reason.
Like the Screamers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. It sucks, but I don't know. I mean, it depends. Like, send us books, please.
Well,
You get with P.O. Box 470, North Hollywood, California.
well, there's stories told in the first part, like Meet Me in the Bathroom, the oral
Yeah, we have
history.
that, yeah.
Yeah, their story is told in like the first, like they kind of split between Jonathan Fire Eater and LCD Sound System.
Okay, all right, yeah.
And it's a pretty good story, but I don't know if it's like, I pretty much just told you the story.
Okay, there you go.
Like there's not a lot else to it. But yeah, that's I mean, there is more to it. Of course there is more to it, but that's the story in a nutshell. But the Walkmen are fucking amazing. It was so weird when that one song got used in a Volkswagen commercial in the early 2000s.
I don't remember.
Yeah, there was that. There was a time period where like they were putting like the Walkman, Nick Drake, they used Pink Moon
Yes,
in a Volkswagen
that
commercial.
I remember. Yeah.
And then from there it went to putting Modest Mouse and Flaming Lips in minivan commercials.
Yeah, because,
Yeah.
we're getting to that age.
Mm-hmm. That was
Some of us.
That was in 2005.
Wow. You see, some of us.
They used Do You Realize?
Well, actually, I got an email not that long ago and we saw it too. There's a perfume commercial with a suicide song.
Yeah.
Cherie, I think.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, that's
I'm
cool.
I'm cool with that. It's fun as long as you don't overdo the commercial, because so many commercials have been so many songs. Sorry, not the commercials have been ruined. So many songs have been ruined because of the commercial.
I had to wait after the minivan commercial came out. I had to wait on Do You Realize for a little while before it before it
Yeah.
meant something to me again, because when I listened to it, all I saw was like a minivan rotating for a long, long time. Lust for Life cruise ships, absolutely, for Carnival Cruise Lines.
I've had it in my ear before. And then there's a family of 4 on a wave pool. That one I like. Actually, that one made it better. So, it really depends.
Actually, that one I didn't mind at all. Every
No.
time I saw it, like it was so many people having fun. It's like, oh yeah, man. I'm gonna put on Lust for Life.
Yeah, sometimes it's okay. I don't know. It really depends on who, because I know Johnny Rotten did a dumb commercial once. Lou Reed did one on Vespa.
Yeah. Didn't Johnny Rotten do one for butter?
Yes,
Yeah.
something like that, or like mayo or margarine or some shit. Who
Oh.
knows?
Thanks for the sub, Dr. Squirrel Man. You guys are killing it with these names.
I think it's how you say it. I think that's what it is.
Penny Lane 86 says, I cannot stand LCD sound system. Is there something wrong with me? Absolutely not. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
That's
the
totally
way,
fine.
That's the way. That's our philosophy with music. You don't have to like anything,
No.
and don't feel bad for not liking something. Just as you shouldn't feel bad for liking something. I don't feel bad that I love Kelly Clarkson. I
Do
don't
you
feel.
really?
Oh yeah, Since You've Been Gone, I love that fucking song.
Oh, but that's just a song, right?
Yeah, I just love the song. Yeah.
Oh.
I
didn't
don't feel
know
bad
that.
for loving Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah, that is your thing, yeah.
I do not feel bad at all for liking Stone Temple Pilots' Purple. I find it to be an underrated album, a very underrated album.
It's a weird jump. But
Well,
I'll
it's
take it.
the grunge times, Like there's a lot
Yes,
of
Kelly Clarkson, Britney Spears, Stone Temple Pilots, and then I don't know, Fuel or Nitro. I forgot their name. Filter.
yeah, Filter.
Damn it.
And another person said, losing my Kinder Bun Bun said, I'm Losing My Edge is one of my favorite songs. I do fucking love that song. And thanks for the sub, Cosmic Slop 1790. Great P-Funk, or a great Funkadelic reference. And
Brother Ner of GC.
Brother Nerve GC.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moonswirl 73, I'm Gen X, and our music is now classics now. And I have started
Yeah.
to notice that more and more. Many more grunge songs showing up in commercials.
Yeah, but
showing up like you used to always hear classic rock and Applebee's, and now you're hearing like Nirvana, Stone Temple Pilots, so on and so forth.
That's like the cycle of life, right? Like when I was a kid, I would like put on a Led Zeppelin shirt and go to school, and now they put on a Nirvana shirt and go to school, and it's like it just goes on and on. I don't even know what they're gonna wear. Brutalismo's 3000 shirts. 12-year-olds are gonna be wearing that in like 15 years. I hope so.
I think we're about 5-10 years away from Strokes t-shirts on the high school kids.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
Remember where we came from? Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone had a Joy Division shirt or a Strokes shirt. That's why I can't wear Joy Division anymore.
Yeah.
Although, who cares?
That's right.
Who cares?
You can wear whatever the fuck you want.
Thank you.
Thanks for the sub, Alf in Pog form. Nice Simpsons reference there. He's back in Pog form. Green Submarine has a question for you. Green Submarine 77. I want to hear about what Carolina loves about pop now.
Oh, what I love about pop now, I like the pop of now, of today.
Yeah, the pop that is being released currently.
I know Holden McNeely from Wiz Brew and Page 7. He made me a pop playlist and that I heard. And it was like, there were some bangers in there that I got into. I really like Blackpink. I thought that they were very good. I think they're a K-pop band. Their songs are solid. I think you liked them too.
Yeah.
It was okay. It was they were solid songs. I'm gonna have to give them that.
Yeah.
It's like hardcore pop. It's weird. It's fun. But then there were others. I can't remember any of their names. I knew it like a month ago.
Didn't you like Charlie XTC? Is that the name?
Yeah.
I feel fucking like
Is
that
something
the
like
Charlie?
that.
The Charlie and the XTX? XTX.
XCX.
XT.
I don't know what your password is, man. But she seems all right.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, the pop music that I like is obviously the one that I grew up with. 90s Mariah Carey. Fantastic. Fantasy, that's a banger.
Oh yeah,
Forever.
Fantasy's wonderful. Samples, Genius of Love was definitely Fantasy was my I'm not ashamed to admit it, my sexual awakening.
Yeah.
The video for Fantasy. That's the one that just popped it right off.
It really was a big song for everybody. And Janet Jackson, of course, Madonna, Music, or Hung Up, and of course her like super early stuff too. Yeah, I love a lot of pop music. I just don't like. I remember when I was younger, I used to pretend like I didn't know what was in the, what was in the know, and now I truly don't at all.
That's
true.
True.
But Blackpink is really cool. I really like them.
I mean,
I'll give them that. They're also like the biggest band on the planet, so they don't really need my endorsement.
Yeah. Like, I remember back in the 90s not wanting to let anyone know that I loved Spice Girls. Like, and just keeping that to myself, because I was listening to Korn and fucking like Coal Chamber, all this hard Guns N' Roses, all this hard shit.
Yeah.
But then when no one was around, I'd turn it on 103.7 Power 103. I'm like, if you want to be my lover, gotta get with my friends. And
That's totally fine.
And no one saw that but me.
I
I've
love
never
the
told
movie.
anyone about that until just now.
The movie's great.
You've been espousing how good Spice World is for many years
It's
now.
like a musical. Like, I never listened to the music ever, but watching the movie is great. It's kind of like the Beatles Help kind of thing. They poke fun of it. They have all the funniest people on there. They don't take themselves too seriously, and it's there's a message. There's a message. 5 different girls who are completely different from each other can love each other and not be catty. I'm totally down with that message.
I like that message. Before we get to the vinyl haul for this week, from Nicosaur, Disneyland has an Unknown Pleasure shirt with a Mickey Mouse on it. That's incredible.
Wow.
So let's get
Okay, let's move on.
on
I don't know what to say to that.
No, I don't know what to say about that either. Like, that's just fucking Christ. Wow. Like,
Well, I mean, that's cool. I saw a really cool. I tried to get a T-shirt, but they don't sell them. Or if someone wants to make a T-shirt of Worf from Star Trek, and his forehead is, as you know, the Unknown Pleasures. But I can't find that T-shirt anywhere.
you've been looking for a Star Trek tattoo for a while. I think that might be your Star Trek tattoo.
It's all the way along my back, like Ben Affleck.
Whole fucking thing. That'd be great. Yeah.
All right, man.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it.
I'm still debating. I did get a tattoo. And please, in the chat, give a vote. Like, maybe we should do a poll.
Yeah, let's do a poll.
Like, Eric, can we set up a
Should
poll?
Carolina get a Worf tattoo? And if so, where?
Yeah, should Carolina get a Worf tattoo with the Unknown Pleasures sound waves on her forehead.
On Worf's forehead.
On Worf's forehead. But yeah, the tattoo that I actually got it drawn up, and I'm still like, I have to wait, and I have to sit with it for a year or two before I'm gonna finally decide. I got the Wien Boognish, the Wien symbol, and the unknown pleasures inside of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so I'm still, but I gotta say, I like it, but I gotta love it for 2 years before I actually get it put on my body.
You either decide within 2 hours or 2 years.
Yes.
There is no middle.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to come to the results of the poll here in a bit. Before that, let's get...
Oh, yeah.
we got...
Should she get a warp tattoo? That's what
Should she get a warp tattoo? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's not ready yet.
We'll find out eventually.
All right, so we'll get to the results of that after the vinyl haul.
Also, if you have any questions about, No Dogs in Space or anything we talked about, I got to drive here with every single note, script, anything possible. I can answer your question. But anyway, we should do the next part because I'm very excited about this. We've been hearing this all weekend. I love this.
Oh my God.
I love this for you.
This album, anyone who is a listener of WFMU or just lives in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, you may know the bumper sticker, Keep Honking. I'm listening to the transcendent 1971 release by Alice Coltrane, Universal Consciousness.
She looks great.
I
like everything about her.
This record is incredible. Orchestral free jazz is kind of how I describe it. It's Alice Coltrane. She was John Coltrane's wife, but for just a year before
he passed away.
Until he passed away. But she plays organ and she plays harp, and she took a trip definitely to the east, as you can see from the separate pictures. And this record, it's got the songs are like Hare Krishna, Sita Ram, the Ankh of Amun Ra, but then she also goes off on these incredible free jazz freakouts, specifically on the song Battle at Armageddon. That's track 2. Track 2 is Battle at Armageddon. Track 1, Universal Consciousness. Track 2, Battle at Armageddon. And track 3, Oh Allah. And she has these amazing, all through, in the liner notes here, she has these amazing, it's like sort of stream of consciousness descriptions of each song. I'll read the very short version of her description of Universal Consciousness. Universal consciousness literally means cosmic consciousness, self-realization, and illumination. This music tells of some of the various diverse avenues and channels through which the soul must pass before it finally reaches that exalted state of absolute consciousness. Once achieved, the soul becomes reunited with God and basks in the sun of blissful union. At this point, the Creator bestows on the soul many of his attributes and names one, a new name. This experience in this music involves a totality concept which embraces cosmic thought as an emblem of universal sound. This record sounds like that. That's what this record sounds like. I could not recommend Alice Coltrane's Universal Consciousness enough.
And apparently, I just heard before the show, she has also the last few years entered the Universal Consciousness. So I'm really happy that she's finally achieved what she wrote in her liner notes.
Yes. Oh, she's the aunt of Flying Lotus. That's incredible. Thank you, Alphen Pog Forum. And thank you, the Beer God 456. They say fucking love this, guys.
Aww,
we fucking
so
love
great.
you. And you have to get the Worf tattoo now. 81% of the chat says yes.
81%. That is a sweep. Wow. Okay. I got lots of real estate here, so I guess it's not so bad. I only have one tattoo.
Yeah, and it's very small, so yeah.
It's tiny. I decided that afternoon to get it.
Yeah.
So that's what I said about the 2 hours or 2 years.
Yeah.
So 2 years from now, I will be getting a Worf tattoo live on camera.
Yeah, we'll just do it. We'll do that for our next subathon.
Yes.
We'll just check in with you every once in a while. How's Carolina's Worf Unknown
She's
Pleasures
bleeding
tattoo?
through again. Very anemic.
Meow Masita. This is really interesting. I remember learning in a music class that when John Coltrane died, his fans tried to start a John Coltrane cult religion, and Alice Coltrane put a stop to it. It's very interesting considering the language that she uses in the further liner notes of Universal Consciousness.
And the Hare Krishna stuff, because I told you I once spent an afternoon in a Hare Krishna house.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think you ever told me this story.
I know I did. But then again, I tell you stories and then, it just kind of wipes from your mind.
We've been together 7 years.
Yeah, 7.5. So anyway, I was in New Zealand. I was hanging out with friends, and my friend Christine, Christine, she lives in New Zealand, and she went to go visit her friend who became a Hare Krishna. So we went to the house, and all they do is eat popcorn and watch documentaries and laugh at it.
Wow.
I swear to God, that was my entire afternoon. I ate popcorn with them, and they were laughing at weird documentaries about like anthropology and stuff. And so I kind of felt like I had to laugh too.
Yeah.
But then I left and not joined the cult. But it was so weird. It was so weird.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
anyway, sorry.
But the way that she talks about like John Coltrane and like they're trying, like she talks about like this album is trying to connect to the Coltrane consciousness. It's like trying to reconnect to this universal consciousness, this collective unconsciousness that John Coltrane is now a part of. That she had, because she obviously had, it's John Coltrane. She's not going to like put him down. She has of course the most enormous respect for him as an artist, and like it's transcendent. And
I respect that.
And I actually think her next album after that was Transcendence, which is also incredible.
That's awesome.
The teacher for that same class had letters in his possession from Billie Holiday to her weed dealer and read them in class.
Oh.
That sounds incredible.
Fascinating.
And Demon Lemur Nick, you downloaded the album. You shall listen to Alice later, and you shall lose your fucking mind.
Mm-hmm.
Next up.
It is a later album, by the way. Later in the day, later in the evening.
I waited until midnight last night to listen to it, or night before last. I waited until midnight, put on my headphones, waited till everything was nice and dark, and just fucking experienced that shit.
That's cool.
Coming up next, this is something that we covered in our Monk's Coda series. This is the covered Wagon Musicians. We Say No to Your War.
Now, if you remember from our last episode that was aired. By the way, there are more coming in September.
Yeah.
But in our last episode, you did a whole thing on the covered Wagon Musicians, which was really cool.
Yeah, these guys were active duty GIs that had started a band together with Mark Lane, who is the guy. Like, I actually didn't get to go too much into Mark Lane on the episode because we went into Mark Lane so much on our Jonestown series and in our JFK series, because if we go back to this album on the vinyl cam here for a second, the guy that wrote the best songs on this album was also the first guy to really put out the JFK assassination theory. He was the first proponent of the JFK assassination theory, and he was also Jim Jones's lawyer when Guyana blew up. He was in Guyana. He was one of 10 survivors because him and his buddy ran out and hid in the jungle.
He's like the Forrest Gump of conspiracy theories. He just happens to be there, and he happened to be in this whole, like, where were they? They were like right outside of an army base.
Idaho. They were outside of Mountain Home Air Force Base, Idaho. And if we come back to the vinyl cam, because I actually got this record, it was actually sealed. It's not an expensive record at all. You can get, like, I got this for like $10-15. But if you see, it has an entire booklet that comes with it that is possibly the most sanctimonious thing I have ever read in my entire life.
Apparently, we live in the Babylonian capitalist times, and we're all fat capitalist pigs, which is like what we said. Like, hey, they had an interesting message. The execution was a little alienating.
At the very least, the liner notes and their, like, if you read their newsletter, you would not have enjoyed them at all. Like, these were the guys that instead of celebrating New Year's Eve, they sat around. They set a fire, they let the fire burn out, and then sat around the burning embers at New Year's Eve, at midnight in Idaho in order to protest the Vietnam War, because the people in Vietnam were not feeling warm at that time. But yes, this is, you could actually, through this book, you could subscribe to their newsletter, Helping Hand. Yes, I want to subscribe to the Big H. And also with this record came, and these are some of my favorite inserts to find on old records, an order form for other records from this label. You can see some of them are This Is Free Belfast, The East is Red, Vietnam Liberation Songs, Vietnam Will Win, Hate Capitalist System, and Che Guevara Speaks. You could also get the Vietnam Songbook for $3.95.
Not bad. Yeah, they were waiting for like their revolution to begin, and then they were going to capitalize on it, or maybe not. I don't know. They're selling this. They're selling this. They're trying to make a profit, but I think
they're trying to spread the word, man.
Yeah, they're spreading the word with their songs, and like we said, like their songs are important. I wouldn't say like good.
I think they're fantastic.
They're fun, but you wouldn't want to read too much in the lyrics. It's of its time.
It's very much of its time. Yeah, I will say
know why
that.
It hurts to talk about it.
Oh, wow. The Beer God 456. Marcus, which brand of the military makes the best music? Going by the Covered Wagon musicians, I would say the Air Force.
Yeah.
Because when I was in New York, when I first moved to York, to New York, 2006, 2007, me and my buddy James Weinheimer ran an open mic at Pianos in the Lower East Side that we called Valhalla.
Oh, yeah, pianos.
Yeah, but it was just a music open mic, you know? So we had all kinds of just weird fucking people coming in. I would play my weird acoustic songs, and James would play like his heart-rending piano songs about Swamp Thing, and we'd have a great time. But we had this dude coming in, and this is like 2007, 2008. He was coming straight from Iraq, and he called himself Bivouac, and he was working through some shit on stage. But it was incredible music. So I would also say the Marines also had a pretty good. They also had some pretty good music from my one experience of hearing a Marine make music.
I'm gonna say the Army as well. I think Chet Baker was in the Army. He was in the 5th, Presidio, that thing that was famous.
Elvis,
the
Monks,
yeah,
the Army. It's the Army.
Jimi Hendrix,
yeah, it's the Army. It's head and shoulders above. It's definitely the Army. Yeah.
Stooges. I mean, the Three Stooges. What's next on the vinyl haul?
Oh, Miyamasita keeps having stories. Jim Jones's grandson went to my college and was on the basketball team. His father was one of the ones spared from Jonestown because he was out of town playing basketball. That's right. Yeah, they were at Georgetown.
And then his son joins the basketball team. I like this.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Instead of starting a cult.
And thanks for the sub, Tyro Lee and Curd Girl. Oh, and Totally a Botanist gifted 5 subs.
We believe you.
Thank you so much for gifting 5 subs. We do believe that you're definitely a botanist.
Absolutely.
Because why would anyone lie?
Not here.
Next up, in the vinyl haul, this was, okay, so this is going to be the first of 2 records that I'm going to show in which I already had, but I bought again.
Now remember, this is the second time I've heard this speech. Go ahead.
Well, this one.
Oh, I love this.
Now this one I got and I bought again because I adore this cover so much.
Klaus Nomi is a favorite around our house. I have to say, it is a total favorite.
Big favorite.
He's an opera singer from Germany who moved to New York City because none of the opera houses in Germany allowed him to sing.
Was it?
He was rejected by every single one.
Yeah. Was he just rejected because they didn't like his voice, or was it because he was gay?
No, I think it was because they didn't like. Oh, come on! You think the people in opera are gonna be like, "Too gay"? Everyone's gay. It was
in
because,
Germany, true, yeah.
It was because Klaus Nomi, as amazing, because he was very unique and he had amazing aesthetic, and his whole style is awesome and his singing is awesome. He apparently was just not there.
Yeah.
'Cause
he was a soprano. High.
He was, I thought he was a countertenor. Am I wrong with this? Please, I don't.
You might be correct on that.
I might be.
Yeah.
It's weird. Sometimes I'm right.
On stuff like
weird.
this, you're right almost all the time.
But he just didn't have it. Sometimes you just don't have the equipment, but then he started making music in New York, and it's fantastic. There's a YouTube documentary, just write Klaus Nomi documentary YouTube,
Yeah.
and you'll find it. It's fantastic. We've been wanting to do something about Klaus Nomi sometime, hopefully.
Again, if we can find the sources, like if we can find
It's
the way.
only the documentary, really.
Yeah, because his story is incredible. Like he was on one episode of Saturday Night Live, like as a background singer for David Bowie, I think.
Yeah.
And he did have this, like this aesthetic right here was not like the record. This is just an amazing picture of him. And I now see that, David from, what is it, Schitt's Creek, basically stole his whole aesthetic from
Right.
Klaus Nomi.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that. And some people have said that David Bowie kind of took a note or two. But obviously David Bowie he was taking notes from everybody. But that was part of his thing.
Well, that was Bowie's strength was
Yeah.
the chameleon, you know?
Exactly. Just just taking anywhere he can or traveling and just meeting with people and be like he'll spend a summer with someone and stuff. That was kind of his thing, and interpreting in his own way. It's like me with books.
Yeah, and it's like all of us with books. Yeah, and we're gonna be getting into like one of those summers that Bowie spent during our Deutsche Rock series. If that's what
Exactly.
we're gonna call it.
Don't call it krautrock.
But yeah, if you're looking for like a Klaus Nomi primer, if you want to get into it, it's operatic singing mixed with like new wave weirdness. It's strange music, but it's very affecting.
Yeah, it's not too weird. It's not too out there. I think it's just right.
I think start with the song "Simple Man."
Yes.
Like that's his bet. That was his single, but his version of "Can't Help Falling in Love" is incredible. Remember, we used to dance to that song in your old
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah.
But also his version of "Ding Dong the Witch is Dead" is also great.
So much better than the Naked Gun version.
Yeah, and Total Eclipse, Cold Song, like these are yes, it is better than the Naked Gun version.
I was wondering when you were gonna think. The other
Sorry.
day, you're like, "When are we gonna watch Naked Gun again?" I was like, "It's been too soon."
And so that is, I already own a copy of that, but I own a different pressing of that. But I bought that copy because for me, records aren't just about listening. It's about having an artifact. It's about having a piece of art that I can look, like I can look at that record cover and have that piece of, like art doesn't need to be on the wall to be art, like we've got a whole shelf that's just art that, you can pull out, look at, listen to, and just have a fun time with. And that's why I bought the other copy of Klaus Nomi, Encore, now that we have two copies.
I love it.
Yeah. Next up in the vinyl haul is another record that I have two copies of, but I bought it for a different reason.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Now I remember.
So this is one, let me take it out of the sleeve so you can see it nicely. This is the second album by the Netherlands' greatest rock group, Shocking Blue, At Home. Now this is their second record. This is after they added this woman right here. I can't exactly remember her name, but before this like weird sitar, like psychedelic band that they eventually became. They're the ones that did Venus. They're the ones that
I'm
did
your Venus. Like we were
I'm
singing.
your fire with your
Your
desire. Yeah. They
Very
did-
catchy.
Yeah, they did
Very
that.
catchy.
Send Me a Postcard. They did the original version of Love Buzz that Nirvana eventually covered on Incesticide. And after the first record, apparently their first album, they sound kind of like the Beatles. They were part of what it was called like the Niederbeat movement.
Oh, okay. So it's like kind of a Dutch scene during like what, the mid to late 60s?
Yeah, mid to late, early to mid 60s.
Okay, gotcha.
And they're Dutch. This is the most Dutch Wikipedia entry I've ever fucking read. Together with Golden Earring, they are considered the most successful Niederbeat band. If the criterion is scoring hits abroad, especially in the United States, like how do you make a Wikipedia page rude? Like
It's the Dutch. It's like the Dutch are not rude, but they are.
the Dutch are rude.
But they're just being honest, man.
It's an appreciation ring. Yeah. All you have to do is just watch the Darcy 90 Day Story and watch Darcy
yeah,
and
the
Jesse.
90
It's
Day
like
Fiancé.
90 Day Fiance. It's
Or
an
just
appreciation ring.
Talk to anyone who's Dutch. Really. I mean, they're wonderful people who can't help but be right and tie scarves in a weird way.
Yes, indeed. So this is the first pressing. This is the first Dutch pressing. And it's got, I don't know, and the cool thing about this is that if you look at the back cover, this is a great back cover. I already owned this record in the American pressing.
Okay.
Which you can see the back cover is the front cover.
Oh, okay. So they just said this will be the front cover now.
Yeah, this will be the
Okay.
front cover now.
And what's the back cover?
That right there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because I think this back cover doesn't have a track listing on it. This back cover has a track listing on it. And the reason why is because this one does not have their two biggest songs. This does not have Venus or Send Me a Postcard. This one does. It has Send Me a Postcard, it has Venus, because they were released as singles between the Dutch release and the American release.
Got it.
So the question is, why would, if we go back to the vinyl cam, why would I buy this one if this is the one with the most famous songs and this one has all the same songs that this one has?
I don't know. Are you Dutch?
No. I bought
Please
it
tell us, Marcus.
because I like the cover.
That's what it is.
I love the cover. I was buying, and also the other reason why is because on Discogs, sometimes if you order enough records from a store, and if you order enough records from a store, they give you free shipping.
Okay.
And
All
this,
right.
and since this was like a year, I bought it from a store in the Netherlands because I was trying to get this Kraftwerk record that I wanted. This qualified me for free shipping, and because I like the cover, I got it. And I also like collecting different pressings from different countries because the paper, like the actual cardboard material that they use, is different for every country. The British ones from the 60s and 70s are terrible because they're still coming out of the war and they fall apart really easily.
Well, they did it cheaply.
Yeah, they did it cheaply.
Very cheaply, yeah.
But the Dutch and the Germans have a real nice poly, like a real nice like thick record, like a real nice thick sleeve. So I always like a good German pressing.
They got new machinery after World War II. It was a whole thing because the I don't know why I know this, but because when they lost the reparations, like all the all the equipment, factory stuff went to the Soviet Union, went to America, went to all the allies, right? And then later when they realized, oh, holy crap, we actually need them to have some sort of industry. We need to. So they bought them all new stuff. So they got new stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, and then America and everyone else got the secondhand stuff. It's a whole thing.
It's definitely a whole thing. And by the way, not everybody had to buy new stuff, nor do they have to, give away their old stuff. The Mengele family made tractors. They kept the same equipment all the way through because that's a little known fact about Nazi Germany is that there were some people who came out the other end just fine.
Too many people.
Way too many people.
We're going to talk about that actually very soon. I'm very excited about that. We've been working like crazy about it. Like we're so close. Actually, does that lead us to the book haul?
That does lead us to the book haul.
Yes. Okay, sorry. Here, if you want to put in the book haul thing, this is what I'm gonna, because we're working really hard and we're almost done with our with what we've been working on with our Deutsch Rock, Don't Call It Krautrock series. This is the book I'm gonna say, even though I've been working on it, this is my book haul. I bought this like months ago, but I love this. This was originally in German, Times and Sounds by Jan Rietz.
Jan Rietze.
Jan Rietze, and it was if I can get the book back, thank you. And it was like translated into English. That's how important it is. And it's basically, you've been reading it too, because it's like really good.
It's incredible. Like
so good.
This is a book that it's thick as hell.
Yeah, I haven't finished it. I've jumped around a lot. As you can see, I've been working on it.
It's thick as hell, but this is one of those books that I would read even outside of No Dog's research. Like, it's very comprehensive. The guy is a very entertaining writer. There's a lot, as comprehensive as he is, it can bog down every once in a while. But then when he just starts listing Schlager artists, you just kind of skip to the next paragraph.
Yeah, I mean, he even says so himself in the beginning. It's like, this is not a scholarly book, even though I consider it to be.
It is.
He says this is more like journalistic, like how we say when we tell the story of punk, we tell a story of punk, we don't tell the story of punk.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing the same thing. It's like, this is kind of like what I think in my journalistic kind of way, which makes total sense because he does give his opinion quite a bit, but he still doesn't get in the way of giving all the facts, because he talks about like music from Germany in like the 1920s. He starts with the 1920s and he goes all the way up to the 90s, and even further actually, I think, but I haven't gone to the end. So we don't know. But the coolest thing ever, though, is when I found on this page, I think we have a close-up of it, which I thought was interesting, that there are so many German singles that made it to the top 10 in the U.S. And, like, the first ones is like, okay, these I kind of get, like 99 Luftballons, and of course Scorpions. Scorpions was huge.
Oh yeah, 99 Luftballons.
But so it takes a while. But then when you go to like the second part, when you go like later on, it's like a lot of Milli Vanilli. A lot.
It's so, man, all those songs except for Girl You Know It's True went to #1. That is insane.
Yes, and as we know, wasn't sung by Germans.
Well, what's interesting about, I looked into it a little bit today, is that it was not sung by Germans, but it was all sung by Americans living in Germany.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like one of them was one of them.
I mean it. I mean,
Yeah.
wow, like you should come over sometime. 'Cause this is what happens.
Yeah. No, one of them was an just like the Monks. He was an army guy who just stayed and had a singing career in Germany for many, many years.
I love that.
And they were just like these session musicians that
so
worked in
cool.
Germany. Like when they needed like someone who could sing like the people sang in Milli Vanilli. Basically, when they needed a black guy,
Girl, you know
bring
it's
him in.
true.
Girl, you know it's true.
Girl, you know it's true.
These guys were like the go-to guys.
So what I thought was cool also, yeah, they were. But I recognize a lot of these songs. I mean, do you remember Real McCoy?
Yeah, rhythm is a dancer.
That's Snap.
Okay. Real McCoy. Another night. Hold on. Is okay. I can't remember.
No, it's okay. This is not good content. Another night. I don't know. We're both tone deaf.
Man, I even listened to it earlier today.
This one we know.
Oh, be my lover, won't you be my lover?
I remember that. Yeah, when I was a little kid, and of course, Mambo No. 5.
Oh!
That was seriously the song of me coming to America. That was the song that was the biggest song in the world when I came to America.
That's incredible.
Yeah. And what?
And then and then it's nothing else until 2015.
Yeah, that cheerleader song, which is like by a Jamaican artist with a German DJ. I listened to it and I was like, oh, I remember hearing this at a dry bar once.
I'm sure I heard it in a bodega or an Uber once or twice.
You heard it in an Uber.
Yeah.
But one cool thing was the Scorpions 1991, The Winds of Change, that made it to 94. To number 4. And I wrote CIA ? You can't see the question mark. But apparently there is a whole thing, a whole conspiracy that the CIA wrote the song Winds of Change that became one of the biggest songs in the world in 1991. Basically like the anthem of the crippling of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, the fall of the Berlin Wall. Like it was
yeah.
Yeah, there was a whole theory that Winds of Change was a psyop.
Right.
Like to spread dissent.
Like what's it called? Like Wag the Dog.
Wag
that
the Dog,
movie
yeah.
with Dustin Hoffman, where they also did the same thing, where they had a song for their war, and Willie Nelson wrote it. Which, by the way, soft hands. Soft hands.
Soft hands.
I met him once. Mm-hmm. Soft hands.
Very soft.
But
hands.
But the thing is, like, the CIA had Willie Nelson in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, I heard or a little bit, because there's a whole podcast about it.
Yeah, it was like a 8-part podcast. Yeah.
I haven't heard the podcast.
I heard half of it.
We don't have time for podcasts, actually. We don't listen to podcasts. But there it is, Winds of Change, Pineapple Street Studios. I listened to like a part of the first episode, and it's actually pretty good. It's very good.
It's solid.
So I'm gonna endorse this, even though I haven't heard part 2 yet.
Yeah, I've heard like the first 4 parts, and I just sort of dropped off for whatever reason. We stopped touring, actually. That's why. That's why I stopped listening.
We're too busy making podcasts to actually listen to them. I'm serious.
Oh, and MEG, it's a me. Oh, MEG, it's a me. Yeah. Gifted 5 subs. Thank you so much for gifting subs. Chat
Thank
wants
you.
more Marcus singing. It'll come eventually. Let's not force it. Just let it happen naturally.
Mambo number 5.
Oh!
Anyway, I just thought that was really cool. Obviously, that's not what we're going to talk about at all in our Krautrock series. But
Actually, I can't. There is one that we totally skipped over. Peter Schilling, Major Tom Coming Home. I adore that song. 5, 3, 2, 1. Everybody's happy days.
I know that. I always heard it. You know what? It was like I remember it was the Pretty in Pink soundtrack. I think there was a woman who did the cover of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta hear that.
Yeah,
We'll
no.
put on the Pretty in Pink soundtrack when we get home because it's a solid soundtrack and a solid record to own. You can get it for like $2.
I found it like in my apartment building once. Like it was one of those free take it kind of things. But yeah, no, that was also a song that was kind of based on or inspired by David Bowie's, right? David Bowie's song of
Yeah, Major Tom. Yeah.
And so that's cool that it went back to Germany because obviously what we're going to talk about in the end is that David Bowie spending his time in the Berlin era, about 2 years or so, ends up like learning a lot and also ends up inspiring a lot of people. And it's just really cool. I'm sorry. I don't know how else to get into it. It's just really, really cool. we spent 6 months on this, so I hope you guys like it. But we are going to start with Amandul 2, and then we're going to end with David Bowie, but not a whole David Bowie series. We're going to end with David Bowie in Berlin.
Yeah, we're gonna fully cover the Bowie in Berlin era
Yes.
because that's how it ties into it perfectly. Ending with
Beautiful.
Cluster Can.
And then Marcus will sing again.
Yeah, Brian Eno. We're gonna cover all those guys. Thanks for the sub. 5-foot drive stick, and Jacob TV sends love from Texas. Did you know you're a Texas legend? At least word on the street says so.
Oh, nice.
No, not. If you fucking ask the people at Texas Tech University
Why did you bring this
if
up?
I'm a fucking legend, those motherfuckers, these entire fucking time, oh yeah, the guy from Friday Night Lights, give him, oh yeah, he's a fucking legend. Oh yeah, let's bring him to football games. Let's have him fucking
What
talk.
about the Yellowstone guy?
The Yellowstone guy? Which Yellowstone guy? I don't think he went to, which one?
The guy who made the Yellowstone.
Oh, he's just a Texas legend in general, and I respect him. I respect him because we both came from small towns.
Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly, yeah. Buddy Holly.
This is
Well,
how I calm him to sleep.
Yeah. Ooh, the Tiny Toy Guns cover of Major
You
Tom
are
is
a
solid.
legend. I want you to know. You know, honestly, they don't know what they're missing.
They drove me away. Well, actually, they didn't drive me away.
No, their laws did.
That is the funny thing about growing up in Texas. Like the entire time, like for the most part, people were kind of nice, but they were like, "You need to go." Like the whole time growing up, that's what I always heard. Is like, "You need to get out of here. You don't belong here. Like we love you, we like you, you're fine, but why don't you go to New York? Why don't you go to LA? You don't. This isn't the place for you." So
I think it was for the best, though. They were thinking of it because that's for the best.
It's-
You know, it's one of those. It's kind of like that. Not Saving Private Ryan. It's the other movie. The other movie. The other movie.
The other movie.
The one where he's really smart. God damn it!
A Beautiful Mind.
No.
These are the one where he's really smart.
Yes. How do you like them apples?
Oh, Goodwill
Thank
Hunting.
you. That one. So it's
How
about,
did you get Saving Private Ryan and Goodwill Hunting mixed
I
up?
think I'm in Ben's chair. I think that's what happened. But it's the one where he's like, every day, you're too good for this place. You doing the construction and being
Yeah.
a janitor, like, you need to go where you will flourish, where you will thrive, not just survive. And that's what you're doing here.
Wow, thank you so much, darling.
Sorry, it took a long turn to get there.
I appreciate that. And actually, we don't have enough time to get to videos. We'll just get to those next time. Let's just
Yeah.
finish up with a couple of questions here.
Sure.
Uke Skywalker 247. I like that. Uke Skywalker. I'm getting better at reading these.
Yeah.
What was Carolina listening to in the 2010s?
Ooh, that's a good question. God damn. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, it was super hipstery. It was like Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Jeff Buckley, the Wrens. I remember that. Sleater Kinney all the way.
Yeah.
Well, actually, since 2005.
I remember you listened to a lot of the Quails when we first got
Canadian.
together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I love all that stuff. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know. I mean,
it all flows together. I mean, what I was listening to in the 2010s was not much different from, Suicide. I was still listening to a ton of that. Brian Eno, like a ton at Brian Eno in the 2010s.
Yeah.
The Liars. I listened
Elliott Smith.
Elliott Smith, of course, yeah. The Liars were very much a part of, like, especially specifically the album Mess, like, took me through the latter half of the 2010s, like from 2015 on. Like Mess, I listened to like once a week for 5 years.
Oh.
Yeah, at least one song from that album. What's your favorite Mountain Goats album? I mean, Tallahassee. I mean, I know that's like the obvious one, but it's the best one. Sunset Tree's fine. All Hail West Texas is great, but I mean, it's Tallahassee. Come on, man. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Why are you even asking that question? It's Tallahassee. John Darnielle used to play in Lubbock all the time when, like, we used to book him in Lubbock, and he used to say that to Lubbock's credit, or at least Lubbock in 2003, 2004's credit, John Darnielle used to say that Lubbock, Texas was his favorite place to play in the entire world because we knew all the words to his songs. Because No Children was such an incredibly huge hit on our college radio station, and he said it was the only time he had every single word to one of his songs sung back at him at a live performance.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And on that note,
we should go.
We should get out of here. Thank you so much, everybody.
This is so much fun.
This is great.
Yeah, come back again, and we'll get worked up over something. I promise you.
It's fucking Buddy from Friday Night Lights. Oh, he gets all the fucking credit for being like the Lubbock, Texas guy, for being the Texas Tech guy. I mean, I didn't grow up in Lubbock, but I went to Texas Tech, goddammit, and I've been doing this shit for years. I got a fucking New York Times bestseller, and I did all this shit, and it's just fucking nothing. Just silence from Texas Tech. Just fucking silence.
You can go home and hug all your records and your wife and your little dog and go to sleep. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. It's a wonderful life. And thank you, everybody out there, for making this life possible, because we wouldn't be doing this without you. So thank you so much, everybody.
We keep talking to a camera that's not even hooked up. We would be in an empty room. So thank you.
And Logan Pop 1988, if you want to hear Marcus's 2010 music taste, go and listen to Milk and Pepper's episode.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Mixcloud, I think. Mixcloud.com, I think, was where all those episodes are. Yeah, I did a radio show for K-Piss for a little while.
I remember that back in like 2018 or something like that.
Yeah, 2017, 2018. Yeah. So yeah, those are nice little time capsules.
Oh, and I'm working on my Being Carolina playlist. I have one song so far. And all I got to say, no, I really just have one song.
She's thinking about it.
There's a house down in New Orleans.
What did they call it? You're going to have to wait.
The House of the Rising Sun.
Fucking spoilers.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
We'll see you. Hey, we'll see you after the break. We're going to be back the week after, the second week of September. We'll be back with another stream.
Yeah.
And every 2 weeks after that. So thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.